Hello and welcome to Android Masterclass by Architect and Startup Solution. In this tutorial, we are going to go through the interface of the Android Studio IDE. So basically, in this tutorial, we are not going to write any code. We are just going to go through what things are used for what purpose. So as you could see, we have our main screen over here on which we could edit our Android application. So let me just resize it. And there are two ways in which you can edit your program. So for example, if you want to design the layout, there is this layout window present right over here, which contains various things like text, buttons, widgets, layouts, and so on. So one thing which you could do is that you could simply drag and drop these things onto your application. So this is the simplest approach which you could follow. And the next approach is by just using the text. Going to the text section. So for example, you could enter your XML right over here. So instead of just dragging and dropping buttons and text boxes, you could just write code for them here in this section. So there are two ways in order to design your layout. So the first method is nothing but you can just drag and drop these widgets or layouts into this application, and it is automatically going to modify your code here for you. And the next approach is just by going into the text and writing the code for the things like radio button and buttons. So it depends upon you which approach you want to follow. The drag and drop approach is much easier, but the thing is that we follow this code approach, then it would be much more beneficial for you to understand the XML code which is just included into activity main.xml. Inside your activity, I will go to the design section. So inside this, you can take this, like you can drag and drop drag and drop these layouts into the application, and you can drag this around over this screen, and that is all going to be represented on your XML file. Like I'll show it here. If you drag and drop, if you will drag this thing, if I will click it to here, it will change the value. If I will put it in here, it will change the value to something other. So basically, you can see it here as you go back to the design drag and drag it a little bit. Maybe go back to the text. You can see the changes as well here. So as we change this, we can see different things appear on the text view.xml, and that's a little bit how the XML works. Now, there are two sections. I will go to the design section. Now there are two sections. One is the blue and one is the white section. You can change that by clicking on the design surface button. This button is the design surface button, and you can choose either you can choose design, you can choose blueprint, or you can choose both of them. Then you can change the orientation of the phone to portrait, landscape, or UI mode or night mode, anything you want to do. And other than that, you can see over here that there is a palette that will provide different components and put them on the page. And we have attribute on right, which allow us to change things about the components which you have chosen or on which you are working with. So these components are actually called views. So few more things which you want to remember is that we have the zoom out and zoom in button. For example, if the text on your screen is appearing a bit small, so you could just zoom in and you could just edit it out. and according to your preferences. And also if you want to include device frame, then you can do it. And some more important things which I need to cover it is that this is the button to run the app on the emulator, and this button right here is for the project structure. It will tell the profile app, or if you want to run, if you are connected with any of the mobile devices, then it will show in the ABD section. Now we have the ABD manager, and we can learn how you can create your own virtual device. And the main purpose of using this is that if you want to test out your application on multiple devices, then you could just simply use any of the devices which is loaded in this. Then we have the SDK manager. So the SDK manager is going to show you the packages which are installed and which are not installed. So for some application, if you need some tools, then you can just simply uh, install it, go ahead, click on it, and then simply install it and click on OK. Then all these packages that if you need in your application will be installed by clicking OK. Now I will show you how to drag the button on this screen. Now we can see all the constraints that are put on this button over here. Now, one of the most important thing about your Android application is that you have two main things. The first thing is your layout, which is nothing but the design, which is just like the front end or the front facing thing, like text box, activities, screen, and all those things. Then we move to this main activity.java, and when we click on it, you could see the Java code which we have right over here. And we have seen this code already in the previous tutorials. So in this tutorial, we have learned or seen all the widgets and the layouts and how and the attributes, the icons over here, and the run button, the ABD manager, the ABD section, and design and text section. So that's it for this tutorial. Thank you.